All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Ryan Garcia, Cruz, and Gervonta Davis, and specifically coming from this fake offer, according to Leonard Ellerbe, fake offer that was made by Oscar De La Hoya to Cruz and Sean Gibbons for a fight. Let's talk about that in this video. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Before I get into the subject matter of the video, though, please make sure you support the channel. Attend our live streams that we do Monday through Friday, or Monday through Saturday, Sunday through Friday, 8 a.m. We have a really great boxing conversation, so check us out then. Also, hit the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. It would all be greatly appreciated. We really do have good boxing conversations. You do not always have to agree with everything that I say, but we're going to talk about everything boxing, whether it's a rumor in boxing, whether it's published news in boxing, any of that stuff, the actual fights. We have a really good boxing community, and I'd appreciate it if you guys would join the boxing community and support. But let's get on with the video. All right, so there's a lot of reports are out about Ryan Garcia, who was with Golden Boy Promotions, having a fight with Cruz. Cruz, I do believe his manager is Sean Gibbons, and he just came off of a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, maybe earlier last month, towards the end of 2021, where Cruz performed well under the circumstances, and in the words of Gervonta Davis, is now, a new star, right? He said he lost the fight, but he became a star. Now, here's what I understand about the circumstance as it rests right now. One, that the offer that was made by Oscar De La Hoya to Sean Gibbons was not a serious one. Sean Gibbons and Ryan Garcia went back and forth on Twitter and was like, look, you keep talking about how Cruz is scared of you, but Cruz ain't scared of you. But the offer wasn't real. If you really want to fight, we can make you an offer. We can make you an offer that would be worth the money that you're worth, right? And pretty much blew off what was being said about the offer by Oscar De La Hoya. Leonard Ellerbe, and this is what I find interesting and what I think is going to happen. Leonard Ellerbe comes in and talks about how Oscar De La Hoya and that offer is just phony, how the media is running around with the narrative that that Oscar De La Hoya is trying to make that fight. It's not real. And watch, pretty soon they're going to make, they'll be chasing somebody else, right? And just kind of blowing off the whole thing, right? To me, and what I've said, I haven't done a lot of videos since this came out. To me, it is, and people that I've spoken to, it's pretty, not evident, but this is what I think is more than likely going to happen with Cruz, that in 2022. There's a large chance that Cruz is going to rematch Gervonta Tank Davis. And honestly, I think there's a big chance of that. I don't think that they're talking about it right now. I know that the Mayweather, at least the rumors that are on the street is that Mayweather was talking about Gary Russell Jr. as a next opponent for him and all of that. But then you hear people saying, no, Gary Russell Jr. is, they think he's still too much of a risk. The most logical thing, and the thing that more than just logic is consistent with what Floyd Mayweather Jr. did in his career, is to rematch Cruz. And this is why I think that's the case. If you look at Floyd, first of all, Cruz, a lot of people think that he won that fight, or at least a lot of people say that they think that Cruz won the fight with Gervonta Davis. They say they think that. I personally don't get how, if you know how to score boxing, you could think Cruz won that fight. But regardless, there's a lot of people that are talking like that, right? Well, what did Floyd Mayweather Jr. do in his career every time somebody acted like he lost a fight? With the exception of Oscar De La Hoya, and I do believe that's the sole exception of Oscar De La Hoya. He rematched him with Julio Cesar, Jose Luis Castillo. Jose Luis Castillo, when people saw Floyd Mayweather Jr. lost that fight, he came back and he rematched him. With Marcos Maidana, which was a pay-per-view fight for him, he had a pay-per-view fight against Marcos Maidana. He beat Marcos Maidana. But he had a more difficult time with Marcos Maidana than many people thought he would have. He came back and he rematched him, right? Rematched him, and he's rematching guys that he knows he can beat. In the first fight with Jose Luis Castillo, I do believe he had either a hurt hand or he had a hurt shoulder or something like that. He knew that about that fight and felt that and Bob Arum probably, and James Prince, I do believe was his manager at the time, thought, okay, well, if he gets back in there and he doesn't break his hand and he knows what the guy's going to do in the fight now, he'll be able to beat him easy, right? Same thing with Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana and honestly, I still don't get why anybody thought Marcos Maidana won that fight, other than the fact that, sometimes he threw some looping punches that hit Floyd Mayweather in the back of the head. But regardless, a whole bunch of people cheering for you to lose, right? Said, oh, he won the fight, he won the fight. He came back and he rematched him. He beat him, and there you go, right? Easy money beats Marcos Maidana in the second fight, and that's 2 pay-per-views, and he keeps on pushing. I could see the exact same thing happening with Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz. And honestly, for Isaac Cruz, it makes a lot of sense because that's going to be the biggest payday Isaac Cruz is going to be able to get. And Gervonta Davis, that is a pay-per-view. That is a pay-per-view that will sell and will probably sell better than the first one because nobody knew who Isaac Cruz was, and there was no real buzz around it. The buzz for the fight with Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz was originally with Rolly Romero. So that is, if anybody is going to be fighting them, that's what I think would more than likely be the case. And also, I'm pretty sure that as far as like the PBC umbrella goes, that since Isaac Cruz was had been fighting on undercards for the PBC, I don't think he's going to hop ship, and Sean Gibbons and those guys are going to have him hop ship to go over there to fight Ryan Garcia on the zone for a one-off. That just doesn't make much sense to me at all. And it doesn't, and I don't really know how much real attraction there is in a Ryan Garcia fight with Isaac Cruz. If Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting somebody over in the PBC, my suspicion is going to be Gervonta Tank Davis. And another reason why I don't think that is going to happen, or is that, that there really is a bridge between Golden Boy Promotions and the PBC, or not a bridge, there's a chasm in between them. I don't know if they've still done business together with each other yet since there was the break between the PBC and Golden Boy to begin with, or rather when there was Floyd Mayweather Jr. or Floyd Mayweather Promotions that was working with Golden Boy, but then Al Heyman formed the PBC and took, under his managerial wing, took a whole lot of those fighters away from Golden Boy. So anyway, man, the long and short of it is Oscar De La Hoya is probably full of it and is probably just trying to find a way to keep, Ryan Garcia's name in the press, right? Because that's kind of how they built him to date. They haven't really built him through great competitive matchups. They've built him through a lot of internet talk and this guy's ducking you and this guy's ducking him, so I don't believe it. But I also do believe that there's a lot of credibility in the notion that Gervonta Davis and Isaac Cruz are going to run it back. But make sure you let me know what you think in the comment section. Leave your comment. We'd be greatly appreciated, man. Participate in the community. And with that, I'm out. Peace.